Vikings fall to the Titans 24-16. The streak continues. We haven't won a preseason game since 2019, man. And now 2020, there wasn't any preseason game. So if that makes you feel a little better, then, take it and run with it. But it don't make me feel better, man. I'm going to tell you right now, I asked the Vikings to do one thing for me, and that was just win. All right, I just wanted to win, man. I wanted to see some things. Now, we did see some things, and I'm going to be a little positive at the beginning of this video. First off, man, I'm going to give a shout out to my boy Najee Thompson, man. Listen, my boy liked that for real. And he stated on the podcast that he's a special team specialist. And I'm going to tell you what, man, it's really looking like it. You know what I mean? Like, he out there making plays, man. You think about it. He's only playing on special teams. He's only allowed to show his skills on special teams, which is you get one snap, bro. You better go out there and make it happen. And guess what? He's making it happen. All right, he's making it happen. He's definitely standing out. He's standing out more than some defensive players that are getting 15, 20 snaps a game. Right, so shout out to my boy Najee Thompson, man. Another shout out that I want to give is Nick Muse, man. I think we got something in Nick Muse, man. I'm gonna keep it real, man. Like, he looking like a mini TJ Hawkinson. Now we got to see him play up against some better competition. But I'm gonna tell you what, from what we've been seeing so far, his game definitely took a step in the right direction. So shout out Nick Muse, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Nick Muse for sure. Another one that's kind of like we're on the fence with it, but Lewis Cine, I think he played a decent game. Now, the first game, everybody was criticizing him for tackling too high. This game, he came in, changed his technique, and tackled low. He got beat on one, man. A dude jumped right over him. He going right down for the ankles, and the dude just hurdled him and ran down. I think that was the touchdown play he allowed. But, Ivan Pace was also there and could have made a play and didn't. So he ain't getting a pass either. You feel me? He ain't getting a pass either. Like, Ivan Pace, there was a couple plays that I seen that I was like, listen, Ivan Pace, man, you should have made a play right there, and yet you didn't, right? You didn't, man. It looked like you just gave up on the play. I didn't like that. He bounced back. He had a little sack, I guess a half a sack. It was kind of a double sack, but him and Lewis Cine, so we'll give him his props on that. But I think he could have played a better game, and I knew they were going to take him out after the first quarter. I said that on the live before the game. I was like, listen, I think they're looking at Ivan Pace as possibly being a week 1 starter, so they're going to treat him as such. So he's only going to get a limited amount of snaps tonight or during that game. So that was one thing that I was paying attention to, and it came true, right? Another thing, man, I'm going to tell you right now, man, these wide receivers, man, this is what trips me out. Is all week, man. Tristan Jackson, you know what I'm saying? N'Keal Harry, which I didn't see him out there tonight. But, just a lot of the guys, man. Brandon Powell, for sure. Especially him and Tristan Jackson. Making play after play when it's joint practice, just making it look easy. And then the game comes around. And I said this. I said, listen, it's all good in training camp and stuff, but you got to see if they can transition that to an actual real live game, because the setting is all the way different, man. It's a different energy out there. People are actually trying to tackle you, right? People are actually trying to break the ball up, hit you, contact, right? And you saw the difference, right? Now, I got to give him some kind of leeway due to the fact that Nick Mullins was not throwing the ball that good tonight. He had a couple good throws, but the majority of his throws were off target, and he was making it harder for his receivers to make plays. So that's one thing. It's hard to blame the receivers all the way when it comes to stuff like that, because he was making it harder for them. But the truth of the matter is, man, the run defense, oh my gosh, we got to start getting into the red line now. The run defense, man, is horrible. All right, the Titans ran all over us, man. Watching Malik Willis just let me say, like, damn, man, I can't wait until. And it was funny, too, if y'all remember watching the game, the broadcaster with Paul Allen. The whole game, they were just talking about how Kirk Cousins is not mobile. Was I the only one that caught that? The whole game, they were just talking about, and Kirk Cousins isn't mobile. So, you gotta have an explosive running game so that teams don't play too safety deep and boxing Justin Jefferson. You got to have that threat at the running game. And guess what? They're absolutely right. Now, I believe Kirk Cousins, he's been successful with the way he's been playing for his whole career so far. So I don't think that's that big of a deal, although a lot of us do want a mobile quarterback that can move around. But I'm going to tell you right now, man, they had a point, though. Like the running game, we're going to get into that. Let's get into that. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into that. All right, because the running game looked bad, bruh. I'm ready to see Alexander Mattison go out there and make it happen, because at this point, we need it. Okay, at this point, we need it, because that is what's going to happen. Teams are not going to put players in the box to stop our run because there's no threat there, right? There's no threat there. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if you don't have that threat, there's no need to play, man. You can just play the pass all game, bro. And it's just going to make it more difficult for Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, and everybody else to find these holes. But the offensive line, man, if somebody gets injured on that offensive line, bro, who's coming in? Like, who's coming in? I mean, I know Dave was high on Blake Brando, all that, man. I have no hopes in any of them guys right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. Not to say that they can't reel me back in, because, you know, watching the joint practice, remember I said Andrew Booth reeled me back in? Well, tonight I watched him miss a tackle back in the backfield. And he was mad at himself. You know, if you watch it again, you'll see he got up and he knew he messed up. But Andrew Booth Jr. also, when it looked like he broke up that pass, no, that receiver actually should have caught that ball. Like, he had Andrew Booth beat. You feel me? He had him beat for the first down. Andrew Booth got lucky on that play too, because the receiver just couldn't catch the rock. But let's go through some of these stats, man. You know what I mean? Let's go through some of these stats, man. Listen, we'll do this. Nick Mullins, he was 13 of 23 for 151 passing yards, all right? Jaren Hall, 4-7 for 49 yards. Listen, Jaren Mahomes Hall, it just isn't looking the best right now, man. Again, I'm watching these younger quarterbacks around the league in preseason, and they're looking a lot better. Now, on his behalf, man, our offensive line also looks a lot worse than a lot of these teams' backup offensive line too. So we got to give it that, man. But one thing I do like, one bright spot about Jaren Mahomes Hall is he can use his legs, man. The man can run around, you know what I mean? We just got to get into the flow of him being able to run around, but keeping his eyes downfield and still looking to make a play. You know, but when you got an offensive line like that, I don't blame the kid, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, every time he snapped the ball, somebody right on his grill. You know what I mean? But let's look at the running game, because we're going to talk about this. Ty Chandler, 11 carries for 24 yards, 2.2 average. All right, we had Dykes now. Give it up for Dykes, man, coming in just 2 days ago in the game a lot. You know, they probably said, hey, this play you go left, this play you go right. He probably didn't know the playbook at all, but yes, he still did his thing. He had 3 carries for 19 yards, so 6.3 average, but that's not what's important, because when he was doing kick returns, man, he started out the game with a bang. You hear me? And I think he had like 2 that were pretty decent. So shout out to him, man. Nothing bad to say about him, especially coming in on such short notice and playing, right? Dwayne McBride, 6 carries for 18 yards, 3-yard average. All right, Jaren Hall had 2 carries for 14 yards, 7-yard average. That's why I say he had a couple good runs, right? But receiving, man, Nick Muse, man. Shout out Nick Muse. Shout out Nick Muse, man. Again, we're going to give him another shout out. That's why he won the thumbnail award, man. You know how they pick Josh Allen to be on the cover of Madden? Nick Muse deserved that, even though we lost still yet. And then we had Sims, man, two receptions for 38 yards, man. That's why I say the tight end room deeper than we think, though. We definitely stacked on tight ends. I'm going to tell you that, man. I'm going to tell you that. But then Powell, 1 catch for 11 yards, right? Then we had Jackson, 2 catches for 10 yards. Rager, 2 catches for 10 yards. I mean, it's looking ugly, man. But again, Lewis Seen, hey, listen, he led the team in tackles tonight with 6 of them. Let's see how much Ivan Pace had. I don't think Pace was even made. Ivan Pace didn't have any tackles. Ivan Pace had assisted tackles. He didn't have any tackles today. He didn't have any, and they actually didn't credit him with that sack. So that sack wasn't even his. You feel me? So that's why I say Ivan Pace had a bad game. You don't get a pass, bro. Even though you my dog, bro, you the player that I'm pulling for more than anybody on this team right now. I'm gonna tell you right now, man, you got to do better. I seen a lot of things happen that I feel like Pace could have made a play, and he decided to, you know, not do it, right? He just decided to not do it. He was in the right position, but just decided to not do it. So, you know what I mean? I don't really like that. But, hey, Dykes with the kick returns, man. 5 returns for 112 yards, man. That's a good-ass game. That's a good-ass game. But let's also talk about one of the real MVPs tonight that goes unseen sometimes, man. And that's the boy Greg the Leg, man. Can we give it up for Greg the Leg? 3 for 3. I mean, he was hitting them right down the middle too, man. Shout out Greg Joseph. I see why there's no kicking competition, because we don't need it, man. Let's just put our faith in Greg Joseph. You feel me? But all in all, man, the game was disappointing. There really isn't much to talk about. The Vikings need to figure out a way to win one of these games. I don't care if it's preseason. I'm going to say it again, man. Just win, man. Just win, because you can take a lot of good out of a win. You know, when you're losing like this, man, it makes them going into practice next week, especially because we have another team coming in town to do joint practices with. Bro, we have a lot to learn. We really don't have time to spend with other teams. We need to figure out within. Right? There's things we need to figure out within, man. Let the Cardinals stay with that. They're going to probably make us worse, right? Because the stuff I've been seeing coming out of Arizona with their practices and stuff, man, like, we don't need that nonsense. But, hey, it is what it is. We're going to have to deal with it. It's going to happen. Ain't nothing we can do to stop it. But I'm going to tell you right now, man, we have to get the trench. I'm going to just say the trenches in general. Why? Because it's the offense and the defensive line, man. We got to do better. We got to do better, man. Our linebackers are too young. Our linebackers are way too young to be dealing with a defensive line that can't really make those gaps for them, man. It's just not going to work out. It's going to be teams running down our throat. Hey, every weekend and week out, we will be getting rushed on for 200+ yards every single week, just like the Titans did tonight. Just like the Titans did, man. You know what I mean? Or last night. You know what I mean. God damn it. See, my head all messed up, man. But I'm going to tell you right now, man, we got to get better.
Yeah. Smooth summer. Who running? I hear them talking, but they ain't gonna do nothing. Celebration, I might have a toast with you. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling great, I'm terrific. We ain't taking no losses, we winning. Undefeated. Check the percentage.